It is December 23rd, and that means it's time for another in our countdown to 2022 whiskey series, the fourth in the series. And this is a pretty cool one. This is WhistlePig. So this is one that got brought into the store a little while ago. I was super excited to bring this in because I'd heard really good things about WhistlePig, but I've always heard it's overpriced. You know, it's one of those things, it's really good, but is it worth the money? I don't know. It's really overinflated in many markets. And I saw this, and I read the reviews of this specific one. I thought, this sounds, if I'm going to like a WhistlePig, this is going to be the one that I personally like. And then I looked into the price, and I was amazed, because in Alberta, the price I found this at, like the best price I could see really in Alberta, was like $210. And then I looked at the UK, and the best price I could find was like £175. This is really popular in Britain. And I looked at the price in the warehouse, and I applied our standard markup, and it's $160. This is at the Strat for $160, and has been for a little while now. Started out as a Dram Association Premier subscriber exclusive, because I honestly thought it would probably last about 2 days. It's, for some reason, still around. I haven't really shouted about it much. I kind of just wanted it to sit there to let people discover it, in a sense. But now I'm going to try it, and maybe even shout about it a little bit, because $160, and that's before discount, right? So take $16 off of that if you're a Dram Association Premium member. So that's less than $150, right? It's $145 pretty much. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. So what is WhistlePig? Well, in this case, it's an Old World Rye. That's the special edition we're trying here. It's 86 proof, so 43 ABV. WhistlePig's based in Vermont, but they've been bottling whiskies for a lot longer than they've had a functioning distillery. And this proudly says on the front, Canadian rye whiskey. This is almost definitely from Alberta distillers. And what makes this particularly interesting is that this is an Alberta distillers that's been matured away from the distillery, much like the incredible Alberta distillers ryes that were put out by Shelter Point. They took Alberta distillers whiskey back before the craft license was a thing, and back when they were allowed to do that here in BC, and they matured it here in BC. Their coastal distillery. It took on some of those flavours, and then they released it as single cask strength. Same kind of idea here. I believe this is matured at the farm in Vermont. But the impressive thing here, instead of being done at cask strength to make it different, they've actually matured it in a bunch of different casks. So 63% of this is from Madeira casks, 30% is Sauternes, and 7% is port, which sounds just wonderfully Christmassy. And I really want to see what those interesting casks are going to do to a spirit that I'm actually really quite familiar with, if it is Alberta Premium. Or Alberta Distillers, rather. Let's see what the back says on the back. WhistlePig Old World Rye takes the bold character of rye whiskey and elevates it through old world barrel aging traditions. After years of experimentation, we found perfection in a rye aged 12 years in American oak and finished in Madeira, Sauternes, and port wine casks. Like sections of a symphony, each wine cask delivers unique character, giving your rye in all its glory and then some. Cool. Why is this cheaper in BC? That never happens. I'm amazed, and I want to see how good this is, because I think there's more in the warehouse, and if there is, I'll order more. As it stands, I think there's only 4 left. Is the WhistlePig hype worth it? Being here in Canada and having access to incredible rye whiskies for a really good price, I'd be hard pushed. I don't think I'm going to be smelling this and tasting this and saying, yeah, go get it for $350. And if you're in the UK, don't, go and buy it for 175 quid. No. But 145? Probably. Almond paste. It smells decidedly Dutch somehow. It's like those almond round Dutch cookies that are sort of cakey in the middle. With some nice sort of blueberry scones, maybe. And there is that classic rye sort of high spice thing going on as well. Shouldn't neglect to mention those flavours too. That's very pleasant. Ooh. Mm. If you were a fan of the now defunct Alberta Premium Dark Horse, which was, I thought, really, really cool. I still have a little bit left actually down there. Really neat whiskey. If you were a fan of that, you'll be a fan of this flavor profile wise. But whereas Dark Horse sort of cut some corners and played into the whole 1/11th rule that we have here in Canada and just threw some sherry in there, this goes around it the proper way. This is really nice. It's much more mellow and well integrated, and the age that's been put into this whiskey as well, 12 years on this, has made it really welcoming. It's zesty but welcoming, you know? It's like that personality at a party who's a little over the top but very, very pleasant about it, and makes you feel like you're welcomed into the party. You're happy to be there. Yeah, really well integrated, well blended mix of casks. I really like this. I actually like this way more than I thought I would. And if there is some in the warehouse, I might bring more in, because this is, especially at this price, pretty good. I mean, is it the best value for money rye whiskey you're going to be able to get here in BC? No, it's not. But if you want to try a really good rye whiskey in a different, interesting style, this is a fantastic option. It really, really is. I've got to be brutally honest. I would drink this over the majority of the higher end Canadian bottled ryes. Right? I really, really like Canadian whiskey. Don't get me wrong. I love Canadian whiskey. I think there's wonderful things. But if I was going to spend $160 on a whiskey made in Canada right now, it would be this. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't spend it on half a bottle of Canadian Club 43. Not that you can do that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't be spending it on a Wiser's 18 or a Wiser's 25 or whatever you can get for that kind of price. I'm not even sure. No, I'd probably spend it on this. Yeah, that's my thing. If I had $160 and wanted to buy a Canadian style whiskey right now, I'd probably buy this. If I had $160 and I just had to buy any whiskey from Canada, honestly, I'd probably go for a single malt because I personally prefer that style. I might go for a Two Brewers or a Shelter Point, but or a couple of each. But this, for a Canadian style whiskey, for full on rye, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. All right, so tomorrow's Christmas Eve. We've got another whiskey, of course. We'll have whiskeys in this series all the way up until the new year. So I'll see you again tomorrow for another countdown whiskey. Slash